Oh, what's up, guys? Jake here. Oh boy. I just woke up from a freaking nightmare of Pennywise. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Pennywise. I am a huge fan of Pennywise. But this nightmare, it's like I liked it, but at the same time, it was terrifying. So, you remember in the first It movie, well, I should say not the first one, because the very first It movie came out in 1990 with Tim Curry. I'm talking about It 2017, the first Andy Muschietti It movie. In the first movie, you remember the scene where Henry kills his father, alright? He sticks the blade in his neck, and then Pennywise is on the TV chanting with the kids, "Kill them all! Kill them all!" The dream is, the nightmare, whatever you want to call it. So we're in that same scene, right, where it shows Pennywise with the kids. Pennywise, he looked a little creepier. His hair, he had like a Bozo the Clown style hairdo. So yes, Pennywise did have that Bozo the Clown style hairdo, where yes, it did come out on both sides of his head, but it wasn't as fat, as thick, or as fluffy as Bozo's. It was about the thickness of this glue stick. You know how thick that is? Yeah. And he also had like a little strand of hair coming out the back of his head. Oh yeah. So the little strand that came out of the back of his head went down. His suit was pretty much the same. Pretty much just looked like how it did in the movie. Nothing new, nothing special, nothing changed from his outfit. His face looked just like Bob Gray's face whenever he was putting on the makeup in It Chapter 2. If you remember how in the movie, he could just scratched the lines in his face. And then the blood was just falling out of the scratches. And the snot was coming out of his nose. And he was just laughing maniacally. Yeah, that's what he looked like. Except more blood was coming out. And some makeup was falling off as well. And I'm like, ugh. So, in front of Pennywise, there was this little fat boy, little fatty loser. Not Ben, but just some random fat kid. Sorry if that hurt anyone's feelings. A little heavy set boy, let's say that. And he was sort of whimpering a little bit. I wouldn't say he's like bawling his eyes out, but he does have a little bit of tears coming out of his eyes. And you know, he's whimpering for some reason. And Pennywise reaches in his pocket and take a chunk of vanilla cake. And as he's chanting, "Kill them all," he's bouncing up and down. And he takes the cake. He starts hitting the freaking little chubby kid with it. I don't know why I'm still bouncing. And he's like smacking it on his head. He's rubbing it around. He's like, "Kill them all! Kill them all! Kill them all!" And as he's doing this, the kid is crying. Like, he just starts bawling his eyes out. I'm not going to cry for you, but yeah, Pennywise is like, "Kill them all! Kill them all! Kill them all!" And then balloons start flying out from the ceiling. You know, they start raining down. Raining balloons. Pennywise looks up. The kid is bawling his eyes out. Pennywise gets cake out of his pocket, throws it in the air. Cake is flying down. Balloons are flying down. The kid is crying. Pennywise just starts clapping and bouncing and cheering. "Kill them all! Kill them all!" So, as Pennywise is clapping, he still has cake on his hands. So he's clapping. Cake is flying off of his hands as he claps. It's like, oh, and it's hitting other kids in the face too. So, like, we got cake flying in the air. We got balloons pouring down. The little chubby kid in front of Pennywise, he's traumatized for life, okay? He got cake in his hair. The icing is dripping down his face into his eyes. He has tears coming out of his eyes. His eyes are red with tears coming out of him. He has snot dripping out of his nose into his mouth, and he has drool coming out of his mouth. He has cake stuffed in his ears. The kid is screaming and crying, and Pennywise is just screeching, "Kill them all!" And so all the other kids around Pennywise, they're looking at this kid, and they're like, "Oh my God, what the hell is happening here?" They're looking at Pennywise, and they realize this clown does not play games. He's kind of playing a game with the little chubby boy, if you get my drift, but this clown doesn't like to have, I don't know how to explain this. They're realizing Pennywise isn't an ordinary clown. How about that? And so they're looking at him, and they start freaking out. They're whimpering, they start crying. Next thing you know, they start getting up, and they start running away from this clown, and they're tripping over each other, and they're tripping on the bleachers, and they're crying and screaming, "Mommy! Daddy! Help me! Get me away from this clown! I don't want to be here! Take me home! I want to go home!" And Pennywise, he's enjoying every last second of it. Pennywise is just having a blast. Balloons, cake, crying kids, fear in the room. Yeah. Intense. Right?